All right, man. Let's talk about Malik Monk. You know, you got some people that don't like to pick up a Malik Monk. I love it, and I'm explaining why. Now, this trade is alleged to be like I'm just going off the top of the head. Monk, to us, the Kings get Kuminga and Schroeder, and then basically Golden State get cap relief, not having to pay Kuminga. So they get like I forget the other brother's name. Couple guys off the Kings, just cap relief or something like that. And the only things I like about Monk is, now the Pistons really don't have an excuse to go down the stretch and don't have somebody that can't get them a bucket, who can't get their own shot. And that became a problem. And they kind of ultimately the biggest problem with them losing to the Knicks was not having Isaiah Stewart to, bang with Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson. Durham just couldn't do it all by himself, you know what I'm saying? But after that, the biggest point was they didn't have another guy that can get them a bucket. Not having Ivy and Schroeder then had to become a guy that had to kind of, facilitate and get everybody buckets down the stretch and free up Cade a little bit. Now you add Karis LeVert who can get a bucket. You got Ivy back who can get a bucket. And now you add Malik Monk who can get a bucket. So now instead of going one guy can create a shot, and I know you're hoping that Ron Hollins and Asar Thompson develop into guys that can shoot and kind of, eventually be able to, create their own offense. But in the meantime, in between time, you have three guys that can give you, now you got four guys instead of one that can give you a bucket. So Karis probably going to miss some time. You don't know if Ivy going to have a setback. So even in that situation, you still got Monk, who's a professional bucket getter. You know what I'm saying? He can come off the bench and heat up. He can start for you. Willing defender. Karis LeVert can defend, can spot up, can get a bucket. And then you had Duncan Robinson, who can shoot. So, to me, obviously they had a great game plan to pivot from. You know what I'm saying? They had a great pivot plan. The way they pivoted from, I don't know what they thought about Schroeder, but they wanted to bring back Malik Beasley. So the pivot from Beasley to Schroeder to Hardaway to Robinson, Harris, and possibly Malik Monk, as long as they have camaraderie, I feel like they got better in a number of areas. The one thing I don't like is that Malik Beasley played 82 games. Karis LeVert missed some games, but that's why you say, hey, we got Ivy insurance, we got Monk insurance possibly, and then you hope that Asar Thompson or Ron Hollins develop as they scoring and shooting a little bit. But Monk got that dog mentality that you want to see in the Pistons. That's what I like about Monk. Monk got a mentality that you like. He's a pit bull. He's got a Piston mentality. He's got a nasty streak where, you know what I'm saying? He's starting, he can nut up on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he a dog. He a dog. That's what you like. He a dog. So he got the Piston mentality. He got the grit, the grind. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to put a battery in his back. It's already there. He already charged up. So that's what I like Monk. And people don't really know about Monk because he played on the West Coast. They kind of remember him in Charlotte, kind of, being the guy in Charlotte, Michael Jordan smacking in the head for leaving the bench too early and getting the tech. But he's a professional scorer. Now, I would like to see them three-point shooting percentage, and them percentages come up a little bit more of the score. But I think with J.B. Bickerstaff and some better surrounding cast, you got to understand, he played with Fox. He played with Levine. Y'all know I love Zach Levine. DeMar DeRozan. Now, I think he'd be a little bit more comfortable getting the shot. Now, some people say, well, that's a little bit of overkill with LeVert and Monk. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Now, should they possibly go look to get somebody that can distribute the ball like a Brogdon? I mean, yeah, but you know, you probably thinking about staggering Ivy minutes. You probably thinking about the development of Marcus Sasser, also staggering Asar Thompson. They talking about they want to see him run the pick and roll more. Teresa Langdon said so. We'll see what they do as far as a ball handler. But no, you had a problem with other people getting a shot outside the cage. Not only do you double down on that, you triple down on that. I got Ivy back. I got Karras back. And now I'm going to triple down with Monk. Beautiful thing. So they gonna be deadly. It's just about, you know, them gelling, and the person they kept Tobias Harris, which I thought really was important. And I know everybody was talking about getting a stretch four. I really thought keeping Tobias Harris was important from the aspect of defensively what he brought to the table. You know, he gave you a defensive identity by defending that four spot. That four spot was a weak spot for the Pistons. So I know a lot of people forgot about it, and you know, but that four spot was a weak spot. You know, not only did he bring stability to the four spot, you know, he defended at a high level, and nobody gave him credit. I was the only one all year giving him credit. Like, be patient. You know, and people were saying we should have got Kuminga. We didn't need Kuminga. We don't need no more non-shooting motherfuckers. Excuse my language. We don't need no more non-shooters. We need guys that can get a bucket. So you know, I like Kuminga, but I need somebody to knock down that shot from the four right now. But Kuminga gonna be a stud. That's a good pickup from Sacramento. They'll pay him, and he's a stud. But I like what the Pistons did with Monk. So, you know, that's my humble opinion. But hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. That subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video. Hit the link tree. You can find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate y'all for blessing me with the opportunity to serenade your ears. Peace.